I think it's good.
Welcome back to the Birdies and Bourbon Show. Dan, are you still suffering from that hangover from Scotland?
Oh yeah. I wasn't even fined
Uh,
anything.
I bet you are. Oh, I bet you are. On today's episode of the Birdies and Bourbon Show, allegedly, actually, this is factual statement. No, there's no alleged here.
Mm-mm.
Formula One drops Rolex.
Yeah.
Porsche, they've released the new hybrid. I don't know what either of those have to. Well, I guess Rolex is the official sponsor of the PGA.
Heck yeah.
Soon to be official sponsor of Live. We'll get to that in a bit too. And but first for the golfers out there, we're going to talk about one of the most exciting tournaments on the PGA Tour. We're heading to the Twin. This time we're actually heading to the Twin Cities, Dan.
Omaha.
We're going to the 3M Open. So we'll get into that in a sec. Hey, Dan, before we get started, I want to drop a little pro tip. I may have dropped it before. I'm dropping it again.
Okay.
If you enjoy an old fashioned,
Yep.
which I do, I'm actually enjoying one as we speak. A lot of people have accused that I don't really drink on the show. They think that it's, you know how people say, oh, it's a prop. You're not actually drinking on. Clearly, they've never made it to the end of a show.
Literally, they
Clearly.
have not.
I mean, because I've never made it to the end of the
I was
show.
gonna say there's a lot of shows you haven't made it to the end of either.
Of course I mean, this is real life. Okay,
This is real.
this is real. This is live action. Here, yeah. Here we go, baby. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So just, but what I was going to say, if you're making your old fashions with anything other than maple syrup, shout out to our friends in Vermont.
Oh yeah.
I hear some of the finest maple syrup comes from Vermont. I could be wrong. I don't know. I've never harvested maple syrup before. That's what, maybe we need. I noticed we must have a new sponsor. You've got a new shirt on today, Dan.
Don't have a new
That
shirt on.
is that Puma?
Oh
Puma?
yeah.
Puma.
Oh, you bring up a good point though. I don't want to get you off track.
Hold on. Don't sidetrack. We're just starting. Don't
I don't want to get
sidetrack
you off
me.
track.
We'll be
Don't
on
want to
here
get you
for
off track.
hours.
Don't want to get you off track.
I'm going to be up making cocktails. Who knows what I'll be doing? If you're making your old fashions with anything other than maple syrup, you've pretty much ruined every old fashioned that you've ever made up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
I bring that up. We were at Alisal Ranch a few weeks ago, and we were sitting there with another. The poor couple was sitting there with another couple, could be called the Canadian couple. Half of them, I think, were Canadian. And they said, "Wow, this old fashioned, it really tastes. It's got something going on." And I said, "Well, I mean, clearly they made this old fashioned with maple syrup." The bartender proceeded to tell us how. Well, yes. I mean, if you make your old fashioned with anything other than maple syrup. Sneak peek, by the way, before we get into some golf and some watches.
Nice.
We
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah. Thanks to Augusta Distiller. We received our this is the 10-year. I didn't use this to make the old fashioned, by the way. And I haven't had this. Now, the cool thing is, Dan, the bluegrass barrel pickers. I may have showed this the other day when I was talking about Alex was coming on the show. I just got a bottle from them. I just got a single barrel pick from them. So we're going to be able to do some cool things. We're going to be able to taste their 8-year, and then we're going to taste their 8-year single barrel that the bluegrass barrel pickers selected, and then we're going to get into their 10-year, which I think is also a. I don't want to get crazy and go misquoting things that I shouldn't. So I'll leave it at that. Pro tip: make your old fashions.
What about with this? You tried it with this yet?
Ooh, Taconix maple maple barrel finish. I have not, but that'd be interesting. So here's what I think. I think that if I did that, I don't think I'd need to add any maple syrup to it. Oh,
Well, this is
you're
maple
saying
syrup.
that's Taconix maple syrup.
Yeah.
I have, yes, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Cool.
I ran out of it, so I mean, shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about some fun stuff. I want to get this 3M Open shit out of the way. So for you that are golfers,
Yeah.
and or not golfers. You can listen
Yeah.
to like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get
Okay.
into some Rolex, some F1, even though we don't really know anything about it. They go fast. They go real fast.
That's right.
But we know a little something about watches.
Mm-hmm.
I should have put my tag on for this
You
show
should have put your
because
tag on.
they call that foreshadowing in the biz, Dan.
I
Foreshadowing.
know. Yeah.
All right, so let's head on over to our friends at Fantasy National and let's see where we're going to be heading. So TPC Twin Cities. What do our friends over at GSAA say about the course? So it's going to play as a par 71. It's just over 7,400 yards. We're back on bent grass greens, which could be a little bit of relief for some of the I can't putt for shot golfers out there. So Dan, I was looking and I was looking and I was thinking, and I know that's when we get into trouble. But I was looking
Yeah.
and I was thinking, who at the 3M Open, who wins? So 2023, Lee Hodges, 22, Tony Finau, 21, Cameron Champ, 20, Michael Thompson, friend of the show, Michael Thompson, and 2019, Matt Wolff. So if you kind of read into this, if you well, I mean, so I was looking, and oddly enough, there's a lot of water at TPC Twin Cities.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking, and I'm like, well, what how do you weigh this out? I mean, it looks like we got a lot of big hitters. But Lee Hodges, I wouldn't say is a big hitter.
Yeah.
Michael Thompson, I wouldn't necessarily call him a big hitter. I mean, Tony Finau, I don't know that I would categorize. I mean, if you said who's a big hitter in the past 5 winners, I mean, I would say it's Cam Champ. However, I think the thing that we need to pay most attention to, because there's a lot of water on this course. I think there's like 15 of the 18 holes, water comes into play.
Yep.
So it's going to be more rewarding. But let me rephrase that. In what I see in my research, in my unprofessional opinion, you're more rewarded for a shot in the fairway than you are for a long drive necessarily. Meaning if you're bombing it and you're missing the fairway, there's a chance you're going to wind up in the water here.
That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know necessarily that we need to look to bombers to show up and get this done. I think accuracy and fairways hit is going to be a big play. And as always, it's going to turn into a putting contest.
When you look at like Matt Wolff and Cam Champ, 2 of the past 4, I think accuracy off the tee.
So interesting you bring up Matt Wolff. Let's you've derailed me, but I'm okay with it this time. Matt Wolff, and every golfer, I would say, every professional, maybe you could say every golfer, but most professional golfers, let me say most, allegedly, they've got some kind of hitch in their swing. They've got a trigger that kind of that starts things for them, right?
Yep.
So Billy Horschel says that he's going to be playing in this tournament. He says he's showing up on Tuesday morning at the driving range to pound it out just like every other week.
Interesting.
Man of the people.
Man of the people.
Dine with kings and queens. Yeah. I shouldn't compare him to Dusty Rhodes because there is no comparison. He's not an American hero. He says he's going to show up on Tuesday. But I don't know why, but for some reason, and Matt Wolff has a trigger, and it's kind of awkward. His little hitch that he has. That does nothing. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. But when Billy Horschel starts sneaking up on shit to hit it, I feel violated. I feel like he's doing something wrong every time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
like he's sneaking up on the ball. Like it sees you. It sees you, Billy. It sees you.
It's sleazy. It's just sleazy. It's sleazy. Sneaking up on you shouldn't sneak up on things and hit it.
That's right.
You just shouldn't do it.
I did want to ask you a question before you were rolling early on. I didn't want to get you derailed earlier, but do you think
that's a lie?
of all years, this is just a little recap from last week. We'll get right back to the 3M people. What a crappy year for an apparel sponsor to ditch a guy.
Are we talking about
Xander,
yeah, yeah.
they really missed out. Man, they missed out.
I mean, I don't know. Is Xander, is he's obviously he's not playing in the tournament. Never was. He was never slated to play here. But I mean, is even though he just won his second major
Hmm.
in this in both of them came in the same year, by the way, a
Yeah.
couple few months apart.
Yeah.
Is Xander famous? Olympic gold
Gold
medalist.
medalist. That's a hell of a career now, right? Two majors and a
I'm
gold.
not.
Yeah.
I mean, he is now. He officially just inked his name in the Golf Hall of Fame.
He should. Yeah. Yeah. Two and
Yeah,
a gold, they get you there. Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Done.
Two majors and you're in.
You're in.
Two
Yeah.
majors, you're in.
Yeah.
And he just inked his in his short career. He just inked what could have been never a Hall of
Yep.
Fame career. He
Hmm.
just did it within a couple months.
Yep.
And his
Just did
dad and his dad had absolutely nothing to do with it.
it.
Other than being a donor some 20 plus odd years ago. That's all they had to do with it.
Yeah, it's gotta be really
Well,
bad.
well
It's gonna be a terrible, terrible Christmas, right? Be like, Dad, I wish you would have left earlier. I mean, I could have
I,
had four of these things by now.
I mean, come on, Dad. You've been holding me back all these years. I mean, what's going on? Yeah, I don't know. Yes, but to your point, yeah, we'll get to the sponsorship
Oh,
portion
good
of the
point.
show.
Good point.
That's because there's a couple of other big brands out there that have played things a little different than you and I would have expected.
Exactly.
All right, so let's put a lineup in while we're rolling through this
Oh,
thing.
good
That
idea.
way we
Good idea.
don't have to revisit the 3M. I'm not knocking. So speaking of, I know I'm making light of the situation. It's great what the PGA Tour does when they come into a city and helping out the community, et cetera. I actually am quite proud. I
Proud.
don't. I would say of Jay, but I don't think Jay had anything to do with it. Jay hasn't done anything this thought provoking in quite some time,
That's a good
other
point.
than drop the bomb on the PGA Tour players that they will now be partnering with. Allegedly, I mean, shit, that partnership was supposed to have been done last December, so we're quite a ways out from that.
Yep.
But I'm excited that we now have a non-elevated event following a major
Major.
championship.
That's right. That's right. It's a good
I
point.
mean, this is the one thing that they didn't screw up.
Yeah.
And all in all, like for it not to be a elevated event, like the field's not that shitty.
Now.
Given what we've got to work with on a weekly basis,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of names that had a chance to play the weekend at the Open. They just didn't.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, for once, they kind of got it right. Kind of
Kind
got
of
it
got it
right.
right. Kind of got it right.
All right, so let's see. We'd be thinking about. I know you've already been thinking about them. You talked about it yesterday, but as we go through this, think about where we want to lay some hot bets down. Hot bets.
Hot bets.
So the tournament favorite, no secret, Tony Finau. And so here's the thing about Big Tone. I mean, he's got a good track record here.
Yep.
He uh he didn't have that bad. I mean, okay, let's think about it. Let me think about this before I say it, which I rarely ever do. He didn't have that bad of a weekend. He didn't have that bad. His 2 days at the Open weren't that bad considering. Had a
Yeah.
pretty good had a good Thursday and he had a really crappy Friday.
Yeah.
But he was AM PM wave. A lot of people that played in the AM PM wave had the same effect. So
Hmm.
I don't know that I'm holding that against Big Tone.
Nope.
And Big Tone T7 here last year, winner in 22, T28, T3, T23. I don't know. Is that where do we want to start there at 10,000? How often are we going to see the the tournament favorite, the highest priced player, sub $11,000, and he's only $10,500.
That's a good point. I mean,
I
it's
mean,
24% owned, 24%
I
owned.
understand, but I mean, if he plays, if he shows up with his course history, I mean, is that we don't okay, we don't have to start there. But well, who ranks out model number one for the tournament?
Tony Finau
Okay. Where did he play? Last time we saw him,
at the Open, he missed the cut.
okay, but then prior to that was a Travelers at a T5.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm
So
with you.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm just saying we can come back to this, but I
we can
mean,
start. Let's start there. Let's go with Tony. Let's make it
because
25%.
ooh, all right. But I mean, we can. Hey, the good news is we control that. We are the keyboard warriors, Dan. We
That's right.
control
That's right.
who is and who isn't in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's a guy, and we could change this immediately, immediately,
Yep.
because here's a guy that I know you're fond of. We can save $200. However, Sahith Theegala,
Yep.
he's played here 3 times.
Yep.
Guess how many times he's missed the cut?
3 times.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, that's not a good play.
You are
Not
all
a
over
good play.
it. You are all over it today. Wow.
You know, I'm not like Brooks Koepka. I mean, I think I might have missed 7 in a row, and then I just got one right. True false.
Just saying. Just saying.
Yes.
Okay. So here's I know where you want to go next, and this could be our one and done. And I'm in agreement. Are we totally good? We're good with not playing Sam Burns. I mean, he had one good day at the Open, and then he just shits all over himself. We're good with skipping Sam Burns, right?
Yep. Yep.
What do you want to do with Shea? Not Tua, but Shea.
I like them. I mean, you got T2 at Rocket, T5 at Travelers, T16, T22. Missed the cut last week, but I'm like, I don't know. This is the type of place
I
he
don't
could
care if he
win.
missed the cut last week.
I don't either. I think it's the type of place he could win, right?
All right. All right. Drop
You
it
want
down.
to put him in? Do you have Finau in as well? Or no?
I do, but I can drop Finau. So here's the thing. Do you want to swap? You want to trade Akshay for Finau?
Yeah, I want to trade. Well, what do you? So Akshay is only if he's 20. I mean, they're up like between 22 and 24%.
I don't think you can really measure. I mean, to me, if it's 22 or if it's 24, I
Yeah, it's
don't
the
think
same.
I
Yeah,
don't think it matters.
same. It's the same. Who do you like better? And what has Akshay played here before? And you said no.
No.
Hmm.
So, I mean, and there is something to be said for course history here.
Yeah.
However, I mean, Akshay's playing good.
Yeah.
He's playing good.
Yeah, let's keep Finau in because he's like the king of this place, like you said.
All
For
right,
that kind of price, we'll just keep the king in.
all right, so we're dropping Akshay. We're not adding Akshay, you're saying.
That's correct.
All right. What about old two-step Billy? Billy, baby,
I don't know if we
Billy.
can afford him, but
What about baby Billy? Well, we can afford him. We just got to make changes down the line.
yeah,
I mean, that's it.
what's his history here?
And I mean, it's he's got holes in his shoes from all the tap dancing he does out
Yeah,
there.
I think we're good.
T13 last year. That's what
Oh,
I
it's
see.
not bad.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. And we just saw he's going to hit fairways.
What do you think? You think we should play him?
I mean, Keith Mitchell, his last 2 outings here, he's got a pair of T5s, or he's
Let's
got a
go there.
T5 and a 5.
Let's go, Mitchell.
I mean, we can go to JT Poston, who was T2 here last year. T2, T11, T28. I mean, we can go a lot of. I mean, we can keep rolling down the board and see where we want to get. We want to get into.
Poston's half the ownership of Mitchell.
I know. So you want to go Poston?
I go Poston.
What's Poston? What's recent history? What's Poston looking like?
Missed the cut at the Open. That's fine. Then like T30, T55, T30, T22. So, yeah, good stuff. And his putting is like 19th in putting. So
I'll stay with putt. Seems like the putters have cooled off a little for JT Poston. But
okay.
Where are we at here? So all right. So there's a few. Let me throw a few names out at you. We can't go here yet. But let me throw some names out.
Mm-hmm.
These are some people that play pretty good here.
Yeah.
Cam Davis.
Yeah, love it.
Good history here.
I like it.
Tom Hoagie, good
Mm.
history here. EVR. I don't know if we've got a different EVR, but I mean he's played here 3 times, got 2 missed cuts and a T58.
Is this
Uh,
the place where he banged like the ball, the starter thing and all that,
yeah,
where he had a
the
little
T
tempo
marker,
tantrum? The
T
T
marker,
marker, T
T
marker.
marker,
Is this the
yes,
place he had the T
T
marker episode?
T marker. Yeah. As you can tell, Dan doesn't play a lot of golf. Just saying,
Well, that's a good point.
just saying.
That's a good
He,
point.
he he chooses to spend his beads out on the open water,
So
throwing beads at
who do you
people.
who do you like? Who you like best out of those three guys?
Oddly enough, I might keep going and get down to $8,500. And his last, so he's played here the past 4 years. We've got a T10, a T2, a miscut, and a T3 at 8,500. And
Grillo?
yeah,
Let's do it. 8.6% of ownership,
I
decent,
mean, why wouldn't you?
T40s,
Why wouldn't you?
T55s, T27. Yeah, let's do it. Grillo. Got it.
So out of the other ones, I think, I mean, probably it's either Cam Davis or Hoagie for me. And I don't think we need to go there just yet. I think
Okay.
we need to
All
dig
right.
a little deeper and then
Let's dig some deeper.
figure out where we're going to go. But I think out of that high $8,000 range, don't know what to think about Keegan Bradley yet. I think Keegan's probably had a lot on his mind. So
What about Justin Rose?
see, is he going
Just
to
the
have a?
tired.
Is he going to have a hangover? I mean, there
Yeah,
that was
that was rough.
for every swing that he took that made contact with the ball, he took like 4 extra swings prior to hitting the ball.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, that's a lot. That weighs on a body.
yeah,
And I mean, it's only Monday. I don't, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play.
yeah. WDs.
The
Okay.
only person I saw so far has been Mark Hubbard. I think it's got to be my neck, my back.
Yeah.
But that's the only WD I saw. So
What about Mackenzie Hughes?
well, I think he did make it to the weekend at the Open
Hmm.
Championship. Um, I'm never against Big
He's got a
Mac.
T16 last week, T46 at Scottish, and then T36 at Travelers.
So he was T30 here last year, played here in 2019. He was T66. Um, I don't know. I mean, is the trip going to hurt him? Because
Yeah,
he did play the weekend, didn't
yeah. T16. Yeah,
he? Yeah. So, I mean, can they do it? Sure. Is it something they want to do? I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, I'm probably leaning more in the $7,000 range. I don't know. I mean, you can talk me out of it,
yeah.
but
No,
I
I'm
mean,
good.
it's like Sam Stevens was T10 here last year, $7,800.
Oh,
Adam Hadwin was interesting, but he missed the cut here last year. Prior to, you got a T38, T6, and a fourth.
mm. Let's go
Uh,
Hadwin. I like that.
you like Hadwin?
I like that one. Yeah.
All right. I like Hadwin too.
All right. Now we got to dig deep now. Let's see.
Do we really?
Yeah, I mean, I only got 6,900 bucks left.
Well, I've got 6950.
Yeah.
Let's see where we hit. Let's see here. I got some people starred down here in the 69 hundo
All
range.
right, going all the way down there. All right,
Or we could make some shifts. We
we
could
can
be a
make some
little
shifts.
shit.
Let's just see what we got down here first.
We
Champ,
got
nothing.
we no, well, he's 7 grand, so we gotta make some shot. We gotta shuffle
Still too
something.
pricey. Charlie
Yeah.
Hoffman.
If he'd wear the same color shoes, I bet he'd be cheaper. Uh, Kevin Streelman was T2 here last year. Zach Blair was T13.
Oh,
I do have I did put a little asterisk. I put a star beside of Chuck Hoffman's name. I mean, he's played
yeah.
fine. Let's see who's
I
played
think
good
I
in
like
this range.
Blair.
Zach Blair's an option. What Matthew Neesmith? He just
How
finished
much? Oh, there he is.
T2
Yeah.
in the ISO.
Yeah.
He,
So did Blair.
Oh,
T2.
Zach Blair, you're right. He did. You do like him here, don't you? I bet you do. You got something for that guy, don't you?
Well, it's just he look at the numbers and on the performance, right? So the metrics, he's a lot of green on that page. He's playing well.
I'm not against you. Let's
Is that
see
new
what.
course open yet?
Yes.
Yeah, have you been?
Oh, T30. No, I have not. I have not. I do know some people that have. They said it was. They said it was good. Good.
Cool.
What to get him on the show and talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm good. You want to roll Blair? I'm good with
Yes, Rob
Blair.
Blair. Yeah.
Let's see here. What's going on here? Who did I miss? We still got somebody. It's now we're at 7,100, right?
7,100.
No, you were all hot and bothered over
Who'd you got? Who'd you got?
ooh. So $7,100. I like a lot of people at $7,100, by the way.
Yeah.
I like shit. I like JJ Spawn, but he's a little too pricey. JJ Spawn's I think he's gonna have a good tournament. That hasn't necessarily had a great history here. 2 out of the 4 cuts, but Sam Ryder, T7 here last year. Mr. Bojangles, T27, T10, and T58. Dylan Wu was T5 here last year. I mean, if you really want to do it, ooh, what's Berger's recent form? $7,000. He was T15 here in 2019, the only time he's played.
Just a bunch of miscuts right now. Yeah.
Yeah, way to be a Debbie Downer. Can you hold on? Can you say that anymore? Can you say Debbie Downer?
I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. I don't know.
What about Gary Woodland? No.
Hmm, uh, ah, I mean, if you just what is this, like a charity event here? T50 and
Charity event.
T67. So he missed a cut at the Rocket Mortgage. I don't. I mean, he played well at the links courses. I don't know that I want to go there on
All
this
right.
kind of. What about Pearson Cootie? $7,100. T2 at ISO, T30 at John Deere, T63. It'll be his first outing here.
I like
But
it.
but Pearson Cootie,
Let's do it.
not a man with the cooties. He's just a man that is
Yeah.
a cootie.
There we go. Locked it in.
Pearson. And you want to go you want Akshay for the one and done, right? Shit.
I think so.
Do you want Akshay just because of hot to a girl? Is that what it
That's right.
is?
Yeah, yeah. We got to use it up. Yeah.
We do have to use it up. All right. He's used.
Yeah.
See, the beans are spilled. All right. He's out of there. Market a zero, Donnie.
Market is zero. There you go.
All
All
right.
right.
Stop sharing. Let's talk
I
about
got
some
you.
fun stuff.
Talk about some fun
Let's
stuff.
talk about some fun stuff. Allegedly. But no,
Allegedly.
you break the news. This is I think the first place we heard it from was
Christian, our buddy
Yep.
Christian Zerone on from Theo and Harris. I frequently watch his channel. I think he has really good content and is always up to speed on what's going on in the fashion and luxury industries, and he's a good storyteller. So he broke the news. It was like a week ago that F1 has dropped Rolex as the title sponsor. And when you look around an F1 track, you see the green signs behind the cars with the Rolex logo, and then just like you see at golf events, a lot of times you'll see the clocks are all Rolex clocks or the like a Daytona or whatever. But yeah, big news. And apparently, LVMH is taken over as the title sponsor with Tag Heuer
so
becoming the watch. Yeah, go ahead.
let me while you're gathering your thoughts, I know you got a lot to say about this.
Mm,
I'm gonna just give you I mean, would you trust Google as a reputable and trusted resource? Not like that fake news stuff that's out there, but
yeah, I think it's good.
reputable. A Google
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna drop in. So if I Google Rolex F1 sponsorships, let me give you some of the headlines that appear.
hmm
F1 set to replace Rolex with US 150 million a year LVMH.
Crazy, huh?
Let's see. Time may be up for Rolex's Formula One
Oh,
sponsorship
that's
thanks to
catchy.
$150 million from LVMH.
That's catchy.
Let's see. Rolex and Motorsport Formula F1 set for a breakup. Rolex Formula One World Championship limited time sponsorship.
Wow.
Breaking, Tag Heuer to take over Formula One sponsorship. Ooh, listen to this one. The days of Rolex are over. Rolex
Over.
is Rolex is quitting after the current F1 season.
Mm.
I,
What do you think? Like, obviously, it's news, it's happening, right? But I thought it was big news. You rarely hear about Rolex like getting out of marketing and advertising, right?
well, so I got a few thoughts on this one.
Okay, good.
I'd like to lean back, but if I do it, then I'm going to yell into the microphone. And then when I lean forward and I'm still yelling, people are going to be like, ah, damn it, there he goes. He's had another one. Um, okay. So let's think about it. How many brands does Rolex own? Let me rephrase this. Let me get into let me put my racing cap. I should have worn a racing cap today.
Yeah.
This is my birdies and breaks
Mm-hmm.
and bourbon. This is my breaks and bourbon racing hat.
Mm-hmm.
How many brands are in the Rolex stable?
Two. I think it's
Allegedly,
just two.
allegedly. Yeah, I would agree. I would say we've got Rolex and we have Tudor.
Yeah.
How many brands do you think are in the LVMH? Did we even say that LVMH? You said LVMH is taking over. Yeah. So
I
how
did.
many brands do you think are in the LVMH stable?
20, 50, somewhere on there. Maybe even more. I don't even know.
Maybe even more.
Yeah.
Let me throw some of these. What do we got here? We got we've got like 25. Some of them you're never gonna hear. You don't even know about. But Tag Heuer is taking over as the official timekeeper of
Yep.
F1
Mm-hmm.
Motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
Let me throw some of the names out at you.
Okay.
You'll recognize a lot of these. Dior, Louis Vuitton, Givenchy, Tiffany, Hublot. I'm going to hit on some. I'm naming specific. Bulgari. Who else do we got here that you would know? Fendi, Celine, Sephora. Okay, so now those are all those are kind of the luxury apparel slash accessory brands that you would know.
Mm-hmm.
Let me throw a few more brands that may relate to a few of the folks that listen to the show that enjoy a little tipple every now and then.
Okay.
Let's see, Ardbeg, Scotch. Boy, that would have been a great sponsor
Yeah.
for this week's Scottish Open. Hennessy, if you enjoy, I don't know, maybe you enjoy a Vieux Carré, and maybe you go rye and Hennessy 50-50. Moet Chandon and Dom Perignon. I, I mean, so we take Rolex, who is a $50 million give or take sponsor for the past annually for the past 13 years. I'm sorry, the past 11 years, been a sponsor since 2013.
Yeah.
And now you take LVMH, specifically the Tag Heuer brand, who is now a $150 million sponsor of F1.
Right.
So a couple questions. So the first was Rolex? Oh, well, hold on. Let's talk. Let's not talk about Tudor because Tudor was not the title sponsor. And in fact, LVMH is not going to be the title sponsor. Tag is going to be the title sponsor. So if you think about the two brands, Rolex versus Tag, like what comes to mind? Compare the two.
Well, one is a little bit more it's apparently a little bit more luxury, kind of like the yeah, just more craftsmanship, harder to acquire, rare, those types of things, right? But just the I'd say the flagship, right? And then Tudor is more of um extremely made well, is but just more of their approachable line, I'd say, right? Is that, is that fair?
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Even though I'm wearing a Tudor at the moment, I don't know what you
I
meant by
love
that.
Tudor.
I don't know what you meant by that. But, it's
I love Tudor.
uh so now, but compare, but talk. What about Tag? What about Rolex versus Tag? But because I say that because um I mean, you could definitely buy a more there are more expensive watches, more luxury brand watches in the LVMH stable than Tag Heuer. I would say that Tag Heuer is kind of the tutor of the LVMH um, portfolio. I don't think it's the Rolex of the LVMH portfolio.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been wrong
Who is the
before, but
Rolex of it?
I mean, it's probably Hublot, I
Yeah,
guess,
probably Hublot. Yeah, I would say that
right?
too. Yeah.
I mean, they're not churning. I mean, Bulgari, I don't think I think it's Hublot. I think Hublot is the. I mean, if you're comparing apples to apples, right? I mean, I think that's the higher end. Um, that the higher end kind of here's what you're getting for this thing. So, um, but what I would also say is Tag is probably more resonates more with the racing world than Hublot does. I mean, I think Hublot
Yes.
is probably more of a designer timepiece as far compared to a racing person's timepiece.
Right.
So here's what really throws me for a loop, right? Is you wind up with Rolex being what are they, a 10 plus um, billion-dollar company annually,
Hmm.
and you have Tag Heuer, who is a $800 million in sales company.
Hmm.
I mean, how do you justify paying three times the amount for a sponsorship for the 800 million versus $10 billion sales?
That's the thing that Christian was getting about in the video. It's like, how do you compete when their sales are 10 times your sales, right? Um, it's ridiculous. But here's the other thing though, is is this just the beginning?
Well, I think it has to be, right? Because if you look at LVMH, I mean, we're talking 85 plus billion dollars in sales. So LVMH, Rolex in comparison to LVMH pales. Nothing,
Right.
right? I
Right.
mean, I mean, not that Rolex isn't for sale, but if LVMH wanted to buy, they're definitely in a position to buy.
I think they want to buy a Patek. Yeah.
Or they're going to buy Patek. Right. I mean, there's lots of things that could be happening. Is that, so think about what Rolex is doing right now. And I don't know what message this sends. It's a question. But they're building two new facilities, I believe, in Switzerland, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
those are two that we're aware of. Now, who
Yeah.
knows what they're building outside of that?
Hmm.
But allegedly, they're building said facilities so they can ramp up production, right? I mean,
Hmm.
why are you building facilities if you're not going to make more watches?
Right. Right.
So a few things that sometimes there are a few things that happens when you increase production. Well, one, does it change? Does demand change because we know that supply has grown? Two, is there any does quality suffer at all? I mean, with quantity, you might think that it could.
Right.
Don't know what the answer to that is. And then three, with the new, I shouldn't say new, the recent addition of the of Rolex actually supporting this pre-owned program. I don't know. I don't think Rolex has lost their place in the market. I don't think they've lost a sense of who they want to be or who they are. But it feels to me like they're going in a lot of different directions And in being, um, I mean, F1's kind of a premium sport. I mean,
Yeah.
you think going to a golf event or going to a football game, think about this. Every time you go to an F1 event, it's like attending the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not talking about the season finale. I'm not talking about and I mean, it's every single event that they have is the Super Bowl.
It's the biggest
It,
party on the planet, every single event. Yeah.
it's not limited to, hey, we're going to have these races throughout the year, and then we're gonna have a big. I mean, they do have a champion at the end of the year. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing discounted. I mean, what we were just talking about with the 3M, right? I mean, there's no, oh, there's an elevate. Every event they have is elevated.
Yeah.
Every event,
Yeah.
every event.
Yeah. It's
I'm
it's
confused.
got to be one of the most popular sports on out there, right?
Well, you were
Top
looking
top
yesterday.
three, top three probably, right?
Where did it rank yesterday when you were looking?
They were. I don't think I saw racing on there actually. It was more like football and all that kind of thing. But I mean, obviously, it's huge, right? We just talked about it. The events are just like Super Bowls, right? Um, so it's odd. It's going to be odd, right? Because when you associate like greatness and perpetual greatness and all that kind of thing, right? It's what they're advertising. And they got,
Yeah.
always got Tiger Woods. It's got a Rolex on. Brooks Koepka's got a Rolex on. You know, all those guys. And then every single sport, it seems like they're trying to be in the eye, tennis, golf, whatever, right? Federer. And for them to lose this, it's a big deal, you know. Um, and where are they going to go after next? Are they going to go after the PGA Tour, LVMH?
Well, they've already LVMH maybe. Yeah, I mean, very possible. It's going to be expensive.
150 million was expensive.
That's what I thought. So let me throw some of these. Let me throw
All
a few
right.
things at you.
Okay.
Let me see if this is a reputable source for you.
Okay.
This may not be a reputable source. Let's see what
That's
we
okay.
got here. It's Google worthy. Google worthy. Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
so let's drop in Google. Um, this is just for perspective, right? So think about this. Let's see when was this date? This is July the 1st, 2024. NFL and Pepsi
Yeah. Okay.
signed a sponsorship deal that was reported to $2 billion over 10 years, 2012 to 2022.
No.
Michael Jordan and Nike,
Mm,
1.5 billion, 84 to present.
mm,
LeBron James, 2015, rest of his life, $1 billion.
mm.
NBA and Nike, $1 billion in 2015.
Jeez. Wow.
MLS and Adidas, 700 million, 2018 to 2024.
Hmm.
Let's see if there's anything else noteworthy. Oh, here you go. Kevin Durant and Nike, $300 million in 2014. I, I, I mean, I can keep going, but I'm throwing that. Oh, here, Tiger Woods. We'll relate it back to golf since oddly, allegedly, this is a golf podcast. Tiger Woods and Nike, $200 million in 2013. I mean, I get that, some of these numbers are, I don't think the numbers are skewed whatsoever. I mean, are they hinged on some certain things? Yes. But think about this. Tiger Woods has probably made more money off of his sponsorships than Rolex paid F1 for the past 11 years. I didn't do the math, but I think it's an equivalent amount of money ish.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, what's it seems so here's a bet. Maybe this is a better way to ask the question. Is Rolex does not, they don't own a race team.
No. Now they might sponsor one now, though. I was thinking about that, right?
So is that the play? Is it like why am I sponsoring F1 when I could own my own team?
Maybe. You think that's what's going on? But now the tag thing, getting back to the tag thing, I think it is a good move for tag because tag has the Monaco, which is very racing forward,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Um, it's very much a racing brand, just like um Tudor is as well, you know? So I don't know, man. I mean, they could get a team now.
But I mean, but do you? I mean, we've known companies that kind of say that, hey, like once you've got a window, right, for a sponsorship.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, if you haven't acquired the consumer in X amount of time, and it's different based on the commodity, it's different based on the price point, it's different based on the geo. I mean, there's a lot of variables that come into this. Do you think that they got out? I mean, they didn't release this. And I don't know if anybody knows. I do know some people in the racing industry. Maybe I should reach out. But I wonder if this was a bid or if this was this a, hey, we'll take this. I don't know what the contract was between Rolex and F1. Was it and what I haven't read or seen, was this a Rolex saying I'm done and I'm out? Or was this a tag or LVMH that comes in and says, hey, you think that 150 million something? What's we could get to 2 billion in our stable.
Yeah.
And what about Ardbeg? What about Dom? What about Moet? What I mean, it just and there are other expressions and labels underneath those brands that just continue to expand the footprint of LVMH in that sector or segment. And I don't know what I mean, we definitely see tag in some other sporting events or sporting venues. But yeah, I don't know. I find it very interesting. I find it I'm most surprised that Rolex lost this. Is there any chance Rolex is in trouble?
Uh,
Well,
I
let me
don't
let me,
I don't think so.
well, I mean,
Uh,
they're not a public company, right?
no.
So, but
Mm.
I'm saying, but I mean, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money being invested in the infrastructure of what Rolex is,
Yeah.
right? And is this Rolex maybe looking at, well, how do we get to I mean, I don't even, this may be a stupid, this may be dumb, but how do we get to an LVMH status? But I don't know that Rolex wants to
Do they want
own.
that?
I
Yeah,
don't, I
they
don't, I
want
don't
that.
know that they want to own all these other brands and all these other commodities and all. I mean, think about all the overhead and what, I mean, something that's worked so well for so long. Why do you screw with that?
But is this a wake up call for Rolex? Right. So they got outbid. They were paying 50, it's 150 now by a company that's 10 times the size of what they are. And you just wonder, like, is the business world evolved to where you have to have that conglomerate in order to be competitive these days? Are they the Amazon of the luxury world? They're just going to start eating all these little brands and just taking their cake. This is a perfect example of them being like just coming in and just taking this from them. We're going to take racing from you.
Does F1 need an extra 100 million bucks?
I don't think they do.
I don't even know, nor do I. That's why I say so to that point, I think it's like, hey, look what else we have to offer.
Hmm.
Look what else you can now provide
Yeah.
to your fans. Because let's face it, if you own a Rolex, what's the chance? Let me rephrase. Yeah, that's the right way to say it. If you own a Rolex, what's the chance that you indulge in another luxury brand that LVMH owns?
It's high,
Highly likely.
highly likely. Yeah.
If you indulge in an LVMH brand, I mean, do you think most people know that LVMH owns all the brands all
No,
the brands that they own?
no. Most people
Okay,
probably don't. Most people probably
right.
don't.
It's probably fair to say that most people, that a lot of people, if they're getting into, if it's not gifted, if they're getting into it on their own, and they're not into the labels, but for some reason I know everything's a fucking
I
label,
know. Yeah.
but if for some reason they're kind of easing into it, right? And it's like, hey, I'm gonna start my adventure into the luxury brand space. Do you start with Rolex, or do you kind of ease your way in with some of the with hey, maybe I can get a tag, right? I mean, I don't know. Is this F1's way of saying? So it could go one of two ways. Is this F1's way of saying, hey, we're now provide? I don't think this is the case, but you can now actually go. You can walk into the store and you can buy the
Good point.
official timekeeper of F1.
And that's the exact opposite strategy than what Rolex was doing, right? They were doing the
You you
unattainable,
you
the
you
unattainable.
can't you if you got to go into a official
Hmm. They do.
retailer,
Yep.
and you got to get on a wait list.
Yep. And you got to start a relationship and you got to spend money in there and other things and everything else. And yeah.
Right. I mean,
Now,
it's kind of like the
but then
secondary market for booze.
exactly. But then they just did it again with Tudor. They just did it again. So they released the pink dial Tudor
Yeah.
within the last month or two, which again, even Tudor, right? And it's like, you can't get that watch. You can't get the pink dial Tudor. You're not going to get it. It's like
Get the blue
all
dial.
about scarce. So blue dial's gorgeous. But yeah, it's the same thing. It's unattainable, right? Um, so I don't know. But to your other point, though, is not only do the revenues associated with LVMH play a factor in their ability to outbid by three times, but are they also going to start weaving that into the advertising and the sponsorship and saying, well, Moet and Louis Vuitton bags with the F1 racing theme to them, and just weave it into all those other things,
Well,
right?
you're going to walk into your suite at the and you know you in over your F1 stable, and yeah, you're going to have a co-branded LVMH bag with your F1
Yep.
team
Yep.
embossed
I mean,
upon
it's
it.
a brilliant move by LVMH. You're like,
It's a
we
brilliant.
need this because we are going to exploit this in every single one of our
and
brands.
and you're going to have your bottle of Dom right in the bag, and it
Hmm.
also and paired with your attainable tag Hoyer Carrera.
Yep.
Right,
Yep.
right there,
Right there.
right
It's
there in the
great. It's a
bag.
great
It's
watch.
it's right around the neck of your bottle of bubbly.
Yeah, they make great watches. Tag makes great watches. Love Tag. I want the
Uh,
skipper. That's what I really want. I want the skipper.
well, I hear you're a bit of a seaman.
I know. I'll tell you, I want that skipper watch. It's
I
things
hear you're a
nice.
bit of a seaman.
Um,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
I think it's interesting. It'll be here's what I
So
think
I do
will
want to.
be.
I
Yeah.
do want to go. You go first. You go first. I'm sorry. You
Well,
had a
what'll
thought.
be interesting to see is so they ride this out for the rest of the F1 year,
Hmm.
and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Specific. I mean, I'm totally in on. I don't think it. They use tag because that's the gateway.
So great racing watch. Yeah.
I wonder. It'll be interesting to see what happens with tag sales over the next
Yeah. It will be.
year. It
But
sounds like it's an annual thing. So,
and didn't I'm sure it is a 10-year block or something, right? Didn't Tiger used to wear tags?
it's possible.
I'm
I
pretty sure
don't.
back in the day Tiger was a tag guy. Let me
It's
take a look.
possible. It's possible. He could have been. I mean, he's worn that old Rolex for so long, and he only wears one, right? I mean, it's the same one all the time.
I thought he was a tag guy back in the day when he was doing the Buick stuff.
Well, I mean, he was doing the Buick stuff. Of course he was.
Yeah, here we go. Watch. Here, let me show you this. Yeah, exactly. He's doing Buick stuff and tag and again, same type of thing, right? I think they want that status back. Remember that? Remember this?
There you go. Yep.
Yep.
Shit, how long ago is that? 2006.
2006. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
There's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it could be,
And now he's a
could be.
Rolex guy. Same thing.
Yeah.
So Tiger could be the start of the whole thing. He could have started this whole thing in 2006 when he left Tag and went to Rolex. We're like, LVMH said, "Oh, we're going to get
Could.
them back one day. We're going to get them
Well, hey, allegedly, Tiger's looking for some more sponsorship. So
back."
if Tag's got some money to burn, if LVMH has got some money to burn, I don't know if I would associate it back with a car necessarily,
That's a good point.
but now I hear he's very timely.
Very timely. Very timely.
Very
Yeah.
timely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, timely guy. I don't know. So
Oh,
it won't be a repeat. Christian will have such a broader
yeah.
perspective on this. We got to get him on and talk about it.
We do. We do. The one
Yeah,
thing he said that was interesting, he said, it seems like, and there's a lot of other stuff in this video, but I thought it was a great point. He says, it seems like they're trying to buy culture. They're trying to buy up culture. They
Tag
want
as
to,
you're
they,
saying, or
LVMH
LVMH. Yeah,
wants to
yeah,
be
I would agree.
synonymous with
Yeah,
luxury. So they're trying to buy this culture. And I mean, there's something to it, man. It's a
there's
smart
something
dude.
to it. Here's what my take on that is buying culture. Is that does it degrade quality? I'm
Yeah,
not. I own some tag. I own tag product. I'm not saying
I
I've
know.
definitely. I've drank a lot of LVMH product, and I would just say, does it erode what heritage, lineage, however you want to go with that, but does it erode that organic growth of uh, of what time, right, instills? Because I mean, Rolex no longer being the sponsor. I don't think anybody's giving up their Rolex to go get a tag.
No, not not in the next
Not
5 years,
not
but
not now.
we'll see. We'll see what
Not
happens
not
in 10
now.
years.
Not now.
We'll see what happens in 10 years. If they're going to throw money at it and they can start playing some of these scarcity games and stuff like that, you never know. You never know. You
You do
know,
never know. You do never know.
it's a
Only
cool
time will
story.
tell.
Yeah,
Only
it's a
time will
cool
tell.
story.
It's I mean, it's kind of the David and Goliath, right? I mean, getting I mean, it's if you look at it from an LVMH perspective, probably not. If you look at it from a Rolex tag perspective, absolutely. So you don't ever see. I mean, is Wimbledon next?
Exactly. Could the PGA Tour be next? Could you, instead of seeing the Rolex signs, could you start seeing Tag Heuer? I could see it.
Well, those signs are getting old. I mean, I'm saying, like, no shit, man. I mean, if you think about when you look at those things, I mean, they're date. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not nostalgia there, but there's definitely here. So think about this. When I 9 out of 10 golf courses that, well, I shouldn't say not to in today's time. 10 years ago, 9 out of 10 golf courses that I walked into and I looked at their logo
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, I gotta get a shirt or a hat or a something. And I look
Mhm.
at it and I'm like, holy shit, that is the boat. It's kind of like this one on my hat.
Mhm.
It's like that's the most obnoxious, horrible logo that I've ever fucking seen in my life.
That hat looks
And
good. I like that hat.
well, I mean, I was being a little
That's actually a really nice hat.
I was being
That's a really cool hat.
I was being cute. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like most most golf logos suck.
Yeah. Good point.
9 out of 10 country clubs you walk in, the
Terrible.
logos suck, and
Terrible.
they're big.
Hmm.
If they were big and they look good, great. But usually they're big and they just suck.
Yeah.
And they put them on
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really nice attire,
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
and it's like, damn, you ruined a nice shirt. I'll pay you your $112 for that shirt, but
Yep.
not with that gaudy ass logo on it. That thing is horrible.
Good
Uh,
point.
so, I mean, does that become the case with I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a play, but I mean, they could and stuff. I mean, they rep some golfers out there, so I mean, it could be a thing.
Yep. Good stuff. All right, so we did our one and done. We've conquered the 3M.
I think we got to save Porsche. I think we
Cool.
save it.
Save it for next time. What about You watch anything new? There's nothing on TV right now, is there?
No.
Mayor of
Um,
Kingstown and The Bear. That's probably pretty much it, right?
oh, hold on. Let me throw some names out there at you.
For what?
For tag
Oh,
tag ambassadors.
well,
Um,
you got David Beckham, right?
do you do have David Beckham? Golf specific though.
Oh, I don't know. That's a
Don't
good
look it
question. I
up.
don't. No, I'm
Don't look
not.
it
I'm
up.
not. I don't. I
Don't
don't.
look
I
it
don't
up.
know who they
Don't look
are.
it up.
I don't know who
Let's
they
see.
are.
I'm gonna is Tag Heuer a reputable site to get this information from?
That would be. I would think so. Yeah.
All right, if I can get my letters to come together and form words, then I'll throw a few at you. This is fun. This is fun. These may or may not be athletes as I read them off. I'm just going to throw at you what pops up. Steve McQueen.
Ooh, Steve McQueen.
I
Okay.
mean, he may not be playing anything these days, but
That was the Monaco. I think he had the Monaco. Yeah.
he had the Monica.
Yeah.
Who's it? Ayrton Senna
Okay.
could be. He's a racer man. So those are kind of the racer guys. Oh, here you go. Movie stars.
Movie stars.
Movie stars.
Huh.
Ryan Gosling,
Tag guy.
tag guy.
I thought he
Patrick.
was like a vintage Rolex guy.
No, well, I mean he may be, but I'm telling you, they're paying him to be on their website. So,
Okay. All right.
Patrick Dempsey, the good
Okay.
doctor.
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
Is there a
McDreamy.
doctor in
Yeah.
the house?
Yep. There you go.
Weeha Jun.
Mm,
I don't know what Weeha Jun does.
me either. Obviously,
Uh,
tag stuff.
he does. Allegedly he's in movies. Alexandra Daddario.
Oh, okay.
You'd know her if you saw her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd
Exactly.
know her.
Yeah. Well, she was in that show you refused to watch.
Which one?
Um, the one in Hawaii. What was it called? Oh,
Hawaii 2.0.
yeah, Hawaii 2.0. The one with the hotel. Yeah, it was good. The White
Uh,
Lotus.
no, is okay.
The
Yeah.
White Lotus. Yeah.
I just couldn't get into it. It didn't do
Yeah.
anything for me.
Yeah.
I mean, you kept saying, "Oh, just keep watching it, keep watching it." I kept getting distracted.
She was also in
And
season one of True Detective.
okay, that's where I know her from. Then
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
where I know her from. And then this gentleman's name is Lou Haran. I don't know, Haoran. I don't recognize him, but he is kind of leaning back in the seat. Looks like he's driving from the other side of the car, so it could be anyway. Ooh, you're gonna love this.
Oh, I love it.
You're gonna love it. So those are the movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How many golfers do we have on here? We only have one goofer. That's official per
Hmm.
se. Tony Fleetwood.
Really?
Yeah, Tony Fleetwood.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Hmm.
Here's the one I knew you were going to love. And
Hmm.
oddly enough, there are no all fingers are rested against each other. There's no finger standing independently of another. Naomi Osaka.
Oh, a tag one, huh? Wow. Okay.
Let's see. Who else would we
Interesting.
know? God, I wish you were reading
I
this off.
thought she
There's
would have been a Rolex person, to tell you the
I
truth.
well, they said they'd like to pick a little higher on the brow. Um, God, I wish you were reading these names off because there's no way you could read these off. I
Probably
can't even
not.
read them off. Who Petra Kitova. There's a Felix Auger Alasimi.
These are tennis players?
I think Felix could be, yep,
Soccer?
no, he could be soccer, but he also could be tennis. I'm assuming he's a soccer player. Petra is a tennis player. We
Hmm.
got some track and field guys and Fred Curley
Hmm.
and Letsile Tobago. I think this lady's a golfer, Chuning Yi.
Hmm.
I don't really know a lot of the I don't really know a lot of their people. Looks like this gal's a sailor, Gisela Polito.
Cool.
She's got a wetsuit on and looks like she's holding on to the mast and
Hmm.
she could be a sailor.
Hmm.
Lots of looks like lots of Olympic type players
Okay.
here
All right.
in their stable.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe. Other well, I mean Tony Fleetwood, he's an Olympian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of
It's good.
but global. They think global, not necessarily except for Ryan Gosling. I don't know what Ryan Gosling does that's global. He did ride that motorcycle in that big Wheel of Death in that one movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't know how global Ryan Gosling
Favorite
is.
Ryan Gosling movie? Probably Fracture with Anthony Hopkins. Remember that one?
Um, it's I know I've watched it, but do I remember it? No, I don't
Damn
know
good.
that he's
Damn good
ever.
movie. Well, Hopkins was awesome in the movie too.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what else could you ask for? I mean, if you got Barbie,
Hopkins.
Barbie wasn't your
Barbie. It was
Barbie
not my,
didn't
I
do it
did
for
not
you?
watch Barbie. I'm sorry to
What?
say.
No. Hold on. So
Nope.
you're saying your favorite Gosling movie is not Barbie.
That's what I say on the air. It's probably is Barbie. I'll tell you off the air.
What about the Notebook? What about the
Notebook.
Notebook?
Also not on my list.
You know what? Mine was probably my favorite Ryan Gosling movie was probably. Oh, have you seen the? Didn't he just do the stunt Fall Guy? Didn't he just do
Fall
that Fall
Guy.
Guy?
Yeah, I saw Fall
Have you?
Guy.
How? Well, so that's not your favorite?
No. Mm-mm.
No,
No, Fracture.
I think mine was Drive. Remember
Drive
Drive,
was
where
good.
he was
Drive was
the?
good.
I
I think
thought
he was
that.
wearing a Rolex in Drive, wasn't he? What was he wearing in Drive?
Nah, he was wearing a tag. Oh, get out of here! Come on.
Hmm.
I'm trying to find that one where he was in the. He's like in the circus or something. Remember where he was in the circus?
Oh yeah.
The Big Short. You didn't like him in The Big Short?
Oh, I did like I did, but he's not like a huge role in that one.
Oh, I think Drive was the one where he was in the where he's in the circus. I think that's an older one.
So what's the
He ain't
watch
getting
he's
paid for
wearing?
that shit.
I always want to
Uh,
protect Philippe in Drive, actually.
ooh, high
Hmm.
roller, high
Hmm.
roller.
Hmm.
All right, well, to the Twin Cities we go. We got some cool stuff coming up with some distillers, and yeah, maybe some familiar names and old faces. So we'll see how that goes.
There you go.
I guess good luck, Hock Tua, and see you next time.